Galbrena's entire kit has finally been revealed, and she's going to be a fusion main DPS that relies on enhancing her attacks to dish out the most of her damage. However, the real question is, how much is Galbrena going to impact your account if you decide to pull for her? So, without stalling any longer, this is Galbrena, to pull or to skip. Now we're going to quickly go over her kit without getting into the nit and gritty of it. So her damage is going to be considered both heavy attack damage and echo skill damage. For example, her first, second, and third basic attack string is considered heavy attack damage, while the fourth basic attack string is considered echo skill damage. She's the first character in the game to use 2 damage types within her kit. While this does sound pretty unique on paper, I personally wouldn't like to see this often in the future, since that does mean we'd have to farm 2 specific damage substats instead of 1. Her middle attack has a plunging attack, and when you hold the basic attack, she'll perform a spitting hail of bullets on some Devil May Cry, Daughter of Sparta, Daughter of Dante type beat. Her resonance skill has 2 versions. Her regular skill, where she'll just damage the enemy, and her enhanced version once you reach 100 Sin Flame, which allows her to enter her Demon Hypostasis state. But before we get into what her Demon Hypostasis can do, in order to build up this Sin Flame for her enhanced skill, you can basically use everything in her kit to build it up except her outro. Once Galbrena is in her Demon Hypostasis state, basically everything gets enhanced, and every point of Afterflame up to a max of 40 increases the damage of these enhanced attacks. And in order to build up Afterflame, you can only build it up by using teammates' echo skills. Well, echo skill, and each echo skill will recover 8 Afterflame for Galbrena. On average, I can see the average player building up at least 16 Afterflame per rotation. Now, it does seem like Galbrena can stay in this Demon Hypostasis whether or not if you swap to another teammate, so this means that you'll be able to consistently keep the damage increase. Galbrena also seems to have a unique attack with her dodge button, seeing as she has a unique attack whenever you press the dodge button after using Galbrena's skill. She also has a unique ability that will increase her resistance to interruption and attack by 20% when you use most of her skills or use her intro skill. Her ultimate will not only deal damage to enemies, but increase her damage multiplier for her attacks by 85%. That is pretty chunky. Her outro is simply going to increase the incoming Resonator's fusion damage by a whopping, massive, ridiculous 79%. You heard me, folks. Not 20%, not 15, not 30, 79%. Now, if you can look right after the 79%, it has some other numbers that can potentially create time travel, but that 79% fusion damage bonus is the highest outro buff we've ever had in the game. And I can see why they chose not to add anything else to the outro, since that number is just ridiculously high. Her first passive is going to have enemies take increased damage from her attacks and skills by 5% for every stack of Faded End she applies onto the enemy. And her second passive is going to allow Galbrena to recover 10 points of stamina whenever you use certain attacks. Overall, Galbrena is shaping up to be a pretty powerful upcoming main DPS with abilities that allow her to dish out crazy amounts of damage to enemies, and with that pretty crazy high fusion damage bonus in her outro skill, other fusion resonators are going to heavily benefit from her as well. Galbrena's team options are pretty simple to explain. Galbrena is going to benefit the most from mono fusion teams, and the reasons for this is because the fusion characters currently in the game are what give Galbrena the support she needs. So, characters like Lupa, Brand, Changli, and Mortefi are going to be her best options for a team. And again, since she's another heavy attack damage scaling character, her team options are going to be heavily limited. So there's really not much we can do until Kuro gives us more 4 stars that are, actually pretty good. Please. As for her best teams, Galbrena, Lupa, and Brand is personally going to be her best option. Lupa will not only increase the damage enemies take from your resonators, but will also allow your team's attacks to ignore 12% of the enemy's fusion resistance. She will also increase her attack and fusion damage as well. Lupa also does a lot more in mono fusion teams, so pairing her up with Galbrena is the best option. And Brand is, well, you know, just a really good fusion sustainer that can dish out decent damage. Galbrena, Changli, and Lupa is another one of her best options. Being in a dual DPS team shouldn't really impact the amount of damage Galbrena dishes out consistently. And if this team does in fact work way better than I expect, then this just means you're going to be dishing out even more damage. And lastly, Galbrena, Lupa, and Mortefi is the most free-to-play you can get with Galbrena. Mortefi is the only 4-star in the game that can boost heavy attack damage in his outro. Not only that, but he can use follow-up attacks in his ultimate. And since Mortefi is fusion, then Lupa's buffs still get activated. Overall, Galbrena's team options are very limiting. While yes, you can use other characters besides Mono Fusion, like Shorekeeper, Verena, etc., but I don't really know how confident I am that Galbrena will still be able to dish out crazy high damage. And this is why I'll constantly ask for Kuro to give us more consistent 4-stars that can help us out with situations like this. And last but not least is whether or not if you should pull full Galbrena for your account. And honestly, I'd recommend skipping Galbrena. Like, hey, shh, hush. Let me explain, okay? While yes, Galbrena on paper is shaping up to be a very strong DPS, if you're a player with an already well-established account, she really doesn't offer nothing for your account. And if you don't have Lupa to do a mono fusion team, then her damage numbers could potentially be lowered by a decent amount. Then there's the super limiting team building, and yeah, I'm being honest, I don't really think it's worth the headache. And I honestly share the same sentiment for new players as well. I don't think Galbrena is at all the right choice for a new player. They're honestly better off choosing a more flexible 5-star for their account. However, remember, at the end of the day, this is just my opinion and you can pull for whoever you want regardless of the status of your account. But I'm also going to be looking out for the players who want this type of answers and advice. Anyways, that's going to be it for the video. Galbrena is coming out in a matter of days, so I'm going to be taking as much rest as I can until 3.7. I said 3.7, well, 2.7 drops. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. My Discord server is live right now, so make sure you check that one if you can. And I will see you all in the next Wuthering Waves video. Signing off.
I've been so tired. I don't wanna fight, but you're a liar. I need your help, cause the situation's dire. I'm so sick of using people to get higher. We can take a pic.